Well, Paul, congratulations, 3 points here. What's your take on the game?
No, it's not the fact of 3 points. It's the fact that I wanted a response from the game in midweek. And that's all it was. It was a response. I said to the players, listen, I want a performance. Don't care if we win, lose or draw. I want a performance, because what we saw at midweek, and I don't want to keep harping on about it, wasn't us. And that's what they gave me. They gave me a very, very good performance in a different type of way. As I said, it's a tough place to come to. They're unbeaten in the last 2 games. They've gone to Luton and won. They've gone to Huddersfield and won. So, on their home patch, to come here and get 3 points is a great achievement by the players. And it's always nice going into this international week to get something positive, because obviously, we know how down the lads were last week. But they don't get that. Think of these players; they're not down for long. They've got such a good spirit and togetherness, and in the change room you could sense, that they kind of owe themselves and owe the team and owe the fans a response. And a response doesn't always mean 3 points, but it means this is us. This is how we play. We're structured. We press when we press, and we defend when we defend. And the only disappointing thing for me, or the negative thing for me, is that we should have killed the game. Thomas should have scored with a header. He's not the greatest header of the ball anyway, but you can't miss from 4 or 5 yards. My daughter could score from that. And then obviously Yak comes on and misses another sitter. And that's disappointing, because you can't keep getting away with it. You can't keep arching your back 5 and your midfield players, especially with a team like Wigan who like to go back to front pretty quickly, to keep defending it. They have one chance where they should score. Charlie Whitehead runs over the bar, and you're coming away from this game thinking, have they got a point? How have we lost all 3 points? And that's what I said in there. Got to be more clinical, and that's something we have to learn.
It's amazing really. It only ended 1-0 because he said there was some really great chances. And I guess there are positives that we are creating those chances, and also the positive that the defence have stood up and done so well at the back. So they are positive things, and the result is positive. So got away with it a little bit maybe.
Listen. As I said, I'm one of those managers, and it was, every win, there's always room for improvement. And as much as we won today, I'm looking at it now thinking, well, we need to improve. We need to improve the fact that if we're playing a team that goes from back to front, we can't just keep defending on the edge of our area, because it can fall to anybody. You've got 15 people in the box, there's a melee. As you see, they could just equalise in the last minute. So we have to learn to try and press higher to stop that source of power going into our box. That's something we learned, but we had 2 young kids there, or 2 young, Tom Mack, Tom Holmes, who I thought were excellent. Did play the skipper role. Again in midfield, I think Hutch playing in that holding role works, gives us experience, that know-how, the positioning, where to be, protecting the back 3. Jeff was probably one of his best games for what we've seen, and he'll get better. And listen, you know what you get with Thomas. You know what you get from him. So listen, there's a lot to learn. We can get better. You can't always keep playing like that, because eventually you get turnover. You get turnover. So. But I'm more pleased that we're going into the international break on the positive. Last thing you want to do as a manager and players is have a few days off and, lost 2 on the bounce. You don't like that. You hear people say, managers say, let's try and get a result before the international break's over. So yes, I'm pleased with the performance. I'm pleased with the way we dug in. Don't want it every week. I'd like to be a bit more comfortable and, give the back 3 or back 5 or a rest. And we have to be more clinical up top. But the most important thing, it was a bounce back ability from our team today. Pleased for the players, but we've got to move on now.
Just a quick word on the goal as well. It's great when you can rely on players just to pull out something a bit special as well, isn't it?
Listen, I think, when you look at Thomas, everyone's, since the season started, they've been talking about his work rate and, what he gives to the team. What people forget is that he's also a quality player, and technically he's very, very good. And he's capable of that. I'd like to see it a bit more times. I'd like to see him get double figures this year. He's more than capable of that. So he has got quality, and he's got the will to win and desire to win, and he'll work as hard as he can for the players. And if he can add that little ice on the cake every now and then that'll keep his mummy happy, that's for sure.
That's it. And lastly, you mentioned the international break. 2 weeks without a game, and a good chance to sort of reflect on this opening 10 games and look to the sort of next block almost before the World Cup, really.
It is, and my reflection just standing here now is that, we've played 10 games and amassed, I think, 18 points with basically 13 senior players. I don't think there's any club in the Football League who's done that. You know, 13 players with kids on the bench. It's been a tough ask for these players, but they've done it. They've grinded it. They've stuck together. You know, and that's when you've got spirit and core and togetherness and friends. They're all friends in there. There's no bad eggs, and that's what we've achieved. So it's amazing what these guys have achieved. And it's the bumps on the road. We get that. The good thing about international break is you get 2 weeks of Andy Carroll. You know, you get Naby Sarr back. You get Ovi back. You know, Shane back. So then we start looking like we've got some strength in depth, and then I've got decisions to make, you know. So overall, listen, I'm pleased, and I just think we just got to just now take 2 or 3 days to sit back and think, well, October we've got 7 games, 7 games, which is a lot, you know, especially with a threadbare squad. But listen, as long as we compete like we did today, I'll be happy.